Before we touch on the game last night, Pat, if you're Kyle Shanahan, you're John Lynch in San Francisco, are you pulling the trigger and giving up these picks and bringing Christian McCaffrey to your squad?
So that's an interesting question, AJ, and I appreciate you teeing the subject up. That's good hosting, and that's why whenever you drive from Columbus, over to Indianapolis every Friday, the world gets to witness some greatness, and I appreciate you doing that. I thought we were all told, and I think a couple people on the internet were asking the same questions, and I was trying to follow along. Wi-Fi on the plane was good, but then I was dozing in and out of sleep, fell asleep on a plane. That's the first time I've done that in maybe ever.
Let's go.
Second time,
Dude,
maybe
man,
I've ever done that.
You need to make a habit out of that.
I know. I don't know why I can't. Anyways, I was dozing in and out. I was picking some things up. I was very proud of the ability of my brain to shut off while I'm at 30,000, 40,000 feet, whatever it was. When I saw what the compensation was, I was mind blown. I thought it was 2 ones that were needed for Christian McCaffrey. I thought not only Sheena Quick telling us this, but a lot of people on the internet seem to be saying that it's going to cost multiple first rounders, especially because how much they invested in Christian McCaffrey. And if they're going to try to rebuild, they want to build around Christian McCaffrey. And this isn't a tank. So it's like there was just a lot of confusion, I think, on my end for what the compensation was. They get those third rounders because the coaches that have left, Salah, McDaniel, and somebody else that I'd never heard of that left, I guess. Martin Mayhew, obviously, what a fucking Martin Mayhew.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Legend. Absolute legend.
So is that the
Martin
deal?
Mayhew.
If you lose a coordinator to become a head coach, you get a third round compensatory, or how's that work?
I'm not
If
sure
they're
it's happening
successful?
in New England.
Well, there is
what's that
definitely a Rooney Rule aspect situation, I believe, as far as the coaches getting hired and stuff like that. I don't know about the.
Oh,
I
is
think
that
they
what it
shot
is?
that down. I think they shot that down. I think that was a conversation. I don't know if they actually went through with it. I don't know. I might be wrong. But remember that was going to happen, I think, right?
Yeah, something. Yeah. So how did they get those compensatories then? Because their coaches left to become head coaches?
Who's Martin Mayhew? Is that a player or a coach?
Mayhew was like a front office guy, I thought.
Yeah, I had no idea. I just clapped because I, congratulating somebody.
I only saw
me too.
McDaniel
I
and
was
Salah
happy.
on that.
Yeah.
I didn't know about the Mayhew part of this.
Yeah, double M there. Martin Mayhew's maybe pulling some strings, maybe calling some plays. I don't know who the fuck he is, and they're still getting compensatory draft picks for him. So I don't think we understand the compensatory draft pick thing at all. I always thought it was players, if they had success, if they don't have success, how much time they play, how much they affect the team. I know that all goes into it, but I thought it was kind of like a QBR type situation where we don't know all the ins and outs of how it happens. But now we're learning coaches and Martin Mayhew's are getting compensatory picks that you can trade away and get Christian fucking McCaffrey. I mean, I don't know what the Colts got going on in the front office or the assistant coaching department, but maybe we think about, picking up some more draft picks by sending some scouts out of town. No offense to the scouts, but if we're getting compensatory draft picks so we can maybe move up and get a quarterback for the future, they're getting Christian McCaffrey with these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, that is.
What'd you find, Diggs? Diggs found something.
So the owners did approve if a team lost a minority executive or coach to another team to be a GM or head coach, that team would receive a third-round compensatory pick for 2 years. I don't think McDaniels.
Wait, for 2 years? What do you mean? Did you get back-to-back?
It seems like
third
it.
rounders?
Yeah, I thought McDaniel's
biracial.
Wolf. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay, so the reason. So the thing that I thought, remember, they were talking about if you hire a black coach, you get a draft pick.
Yes.
Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Oh.
That was like the original layout for it. And then I think they changed it into
If
a head coach or a general manager is developed in your system, you get
Got it.
rewarded for it, which
Correct.
I think all parties agreed is probably a much smarter way to go about doing that whole thing.
Yeah, and to your point about the players, I know that when Kyle Van Noy left New England to go to Miami, it was percentage of play, and then if the team went to the playoffs or something along those lines.
So how about that? You trade away a front office person, you trade away a head coach.
What?
You get Christian McCaffrey on the other side. He's not going to have as many hits and tackles, but if he has one of those games or two of those games late in the season that we know Christian McCaffrey can have with that San Francisco 49er run game, where a big gaping hole gets pushed open in the middle of a playoff game and Christian McCaffrey goes for like 175, we're going to look back and go, oh, a bunch of third round picks were what was given up for this dude who is so explosive, so electrifying. And I think we all have forgotten about it because he's been on the Carolina Panthers, who have been in rebuilding mode literally for 3 years with the richest NFL owner. Now he is no longer the richest NFL owner. He still has a lot of cake. He's still going to be rebuilding, but this dude was a dude. If he can stay healthy, and that's a big if, he's going to have one of those games where we're going to go, of course, the San Francisco 49ers, who already have Debo and Ayuk and
Right.
Kittle
Right.
and everybody else. Of course, they were able to get Christian McCaffrey for a couple thirds when he pops off for 200 total yards in a game that matters later in the season. It's crazy that that's all it took to get him, I think, personally. And I assume that there was a lot of other teams, fan bases, that whenever they heard it was a bunch of third-round picks, they're like, who gives a fuck about third-round picks? You can literally get third-round picks from coaches getting compensatory. I mean, I think that's all surprising to me. I think it was all surprising to me, and I'm very happy for Christian, who gets to play for, obviously, the son of his dad's coach, which is that a big –
Yeah,
it is a cool story.
I guess maybe.
He goes home. He goes back home.
AJ, that's a cool story. AJ,
Yeah, sure. I was a fan. I was a big fan of his dad, Easy Ed. It was out there making plays all over the place. Number 87, jacked, super shredded. Yeah.
You think Christian McCaffrey's going to do the mile high salute? Oh, he's the modern TD.
That'd be sweet, wouldn't it?
Santa
I don't know,
Clara
that's what everybody's-
salute.
Oh,
Hey, it makes sense for Carolina, though, doesn't it, Pat? Like, they get his contract off the books, which I think is a big thing for them when they know they're not going to win it all this year. Ty was talking about that earlier. Like, they knew they're not going to win the Super Bowl this year. Now, who knows what happens from now until the end of the season? But, yeah, they get that contract off the books, and they can try to figure out how they're going to salvage whatever the hell they want to salvage.
This was late in the night, too, and Shefty got it, right? Shefty was
Yeah,
the
he
one that
did.
got the announcement. I wonder how long this had been cooking, you know? How quickly did San Francisco go in there aggressive? Like, how aggressive, how quick, how many other teams were in the action? You know, were any other teams in the action?
Three
Like
total? Diggs is saying 3.
There was reports that there were 3 total. Well, Scott Fitterer, GM of the Panthers, said there were 3 teams involved. Other people report. I think Rapp reported that it was the Rams were the other team that was super involved. And then for the pick stuff, Scott Fitterer, the GM, said that all the picks that they got translate to them as a late round first,
Okay.
translate.
That's what.
like equal or
Pat, do you think
GM.
those reports of
I don't get that.
wanting at least a first-round pick or multiple first-round picks were maybe like a bird call from the Panthers organization as like, hey, look, we already got some offers, but like, let's see if we can get something better. Maybe someone steps up here.
Yeah. Like, hey, what do you want for that? We want $45. It's worth $2. $10. I'll give you $7. Deal. You think one of those types of things?
Had to be.
Most likely, yeah. I think for Christian, too. Christian's got to be somewhat happy. I know he posted a thing saying how happy he is in Carolina and he loves them, yeah, which he does. But I always think this for any player, no matter what your relationship is like, if you go from a team that's losing to a team that's wins more games than your previous team and has a brighter future, I would assume you're somewhat happy, right, if you're Christian McCaffrey?
Well, and then we got to take into account all the human stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
moving, his network he probably has in Carolina. You know, he said, "I'll always love you." I assume he has a great group of friends down there, family down there, house, schedule,
What?
restaurant. Like we're just completely. If we don't talk about the human aspect, which sucks, I think for all families if they have to do it. But I don't know what his he's dating somebody famous, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Uh-huh.
We're not going to become that show. We started to a little bit when we were talking about Tom Brady, but that's not what we're about. We're not going to
sure.
dive into
That's why
that.
we didn't
But
even,
anyways,
we didn't even add
he's
it.
still got to pick up and move his shit 8 hours to the
Yeah.
other side of the country. Now he'll get adjusted quickly. He's from the area. Is that what everybody's saying? He's from the area. Went to
He
school.
went to school
I
out
know
there.
that.
Stanford, yeah.
Went to Stanford right out there, so yeah.
So I guess he knows the area relatively.
What number is he wearing?
I don't-
I don't know.
Well,
They
that's a
have a
big time.
22. So maybe just number 2.
Maybe he goes back to 5.
Some people are saying he's wearing what his dad wore.
87?
Oh,
that'd be
I think they have an 87, don't they?
Yeah, they have a 5 as well. Just number 2 would be awesome.
Give him number 0.